The Infused Show, Cannatech 2022, coming to you from booth 302, here with the founder of the sales joint, Mike Patterson.
Hey,
how you doing, Mike?
What is up, Nick?
Isn't it great that we're still in the 302, even though we're not in the 302?
I know. It is like one of those things that makes you feel like you're at home when you're not at home.
Yeah, I just love hearing those three numbers. Of course, you know, it's the first day of Cannatech. It's February 23rd, and Mike's here to talk to us because today is National Tile Day. So, Mike, what's your favorite tile?
National Tile Day?
Yeah.
Wait, National Tile Day is after National Margarita Day?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's bad planning.
Get out on the tile.
Yeah, my favorite tile is Subway tile.
Subway tile. Ooh, I'm sorry. The correct answer is travertine. Travertine.
I would have said that. I don't know any tile. So that's the only one I knew.
Mike, I wanted to get into something because we braved the ice and the snow this morning.
Yes, we did.
I had a lovely little breakfast. What is it? Dilly's? The name of that place? What a great place. Friendliest staff you could ever ask for. But we got out of the place. It is cold as hell, exposing our East Coast sensibilities, but we made it all the way here to Tulsa, to Cannatech. And you've said something in your past that I really resonates with me, where you talk about the importance of going to where your business is. Right. So tell us about why we're here at Cannatech this year.
Yeah, I'm glad I said something that resonated with me, first of all. But, you know, I think it's a philosophy I've had for quite a while, and I think I've even talked about it on the show before, is you really need to be able to speak the language to be, in my opinion, to be successful in whatever you're doing, whatever market you're in, whatever business you're in. And so I always feel like, you know, for us, we have a presence in Oklahoma. We've been selling and been working with clients on the consulting side in Oklahoma for a few years now. Yeah. And to me, the biggest thing we can do to help ourselves be true to who we want to be is be here in person. Yeah. And I think the easy trap that a lot of people fall into is just saying, oh, we can do it from home. We can even if you're in the state, it's easy to say, I'm just going to stay on the farm today, or I'm going to stay in my retail spot today, in my dispensary. But to get out and to take the pulse of others in the industry and others that are growing, and to really try to understand what you're doing in relation to them, and vice versa, let them understand what you're doing, and really have a two-way interaction with people to really understand the market, understand how you might be a better business person. That's really, to me, the key of business, and it is getting out, being a part of the industry, being a part of the culture, you know, the can of culture here in Oklahoma, and using that to help make yourself better.
It can only enhance what it is we're already trying to do when we're here, and we can see, you know, what kind of hurdles these people have, hear what their problems are, hear what we could possibly solve for them in the future. And even like today, we realize if someone was scheduling deliveries today, everything is off the rest of the week with 2 days in the middle of it.
You know, and I think also when you do a remote business like we are, we're on the phone a lot. Yeah. And you can develop relationships, you can learn a lot doing what we do, but you can learn exponentially more when you're having a face-to-face. And because there's not the time limitation, there's not distraction, there's the face-to-face bonding that happens. So to me, it's really, really critical. And I mean, I couldn't be happy. I was on the road last week, and you know, again this week, we've got a bunch of shows lined up for the spring, and it just makes me happy that we could finally in a position where we can travel safely and get out and do the things that we know are core fundamentals for growth.
Sure thing. I couldn't agree more. And look, it's on my mind just because I'm a obnoxious at times soccer fan. So
agreed.
Ties. Yeah, I know. Ties are on my mind. Mike, let's not have a tie. Tell me what is going to make this show a win for you, a win for the sales joint, a win for Infused.
Right. The you know, Cannatech, I think, has a lot of different avenues that will really turn this into a winning proposition for us. You know, if you look at what we're here to promote, it's the show. It's the Infused Show. We're really working hard to grow our subscriber base on YouTube, as well as get more podcast listeners. And so I think what we've learned over the last 6 months is being live on location and being able to film and bring others to the table and let them tell their stories, let them tell about their product and service and how it might help their growth, and do that this is free. We don't charge for this. I mean, we want to help the industry grow one guest at a time, I guess.
Surely.
And so for me, I think for Infused, if we can get some great guests and learn some more really valuable things about some products and services that people have here in Oklahoma, and get that word out to others, that's a win. And then for the sales joint, I think, it's simple. If we find one really strong consulting client, I would be ecstatic. And what we're really after here is people that are growth oriented, either on the cultivation side, the retail side, or even ancillary. We've had some fantastic ancillary clients over time that need help with either sales or marketing or operations. And because a lot of people just don't understand how those three things all work together and have to be in synchronicity to really, not to bite on a police song, but they have to work together to really reach growth potential of your brand or your product or your service. So, that's what we really love doing the most is taking our decades of experience both within and outside of cannabis and bringing it to play with growth-oriented clients that want to grow and just don't want to take the time to learn it themselves. Like, why learn it yourself? We can get you from A to B really fast, really cool, very effectively, very efficiently. So that's really what we're looking to do, and that's the primary. And the secondary is, we love meeting our hot sheet subscribers. We've had some people walk by already, some people that are current subscribers, some people that are still, in the growth process where they're going to need us in a month or two when they finally have a harvest ready. So meeting those people that are utilizing our hot sheet on a week-to-week basis to get into more retail stores, it's great to see them face to face. I mean, it's predominantly been a telephone relationship, and and Frank is the front runner on that one. He's the face. He talks to everybody.
Yeah, he really is the touchstone of that.
Yeah, and so these people come up and like, wait, you're Frank? And so it's funny. You put a face with a name, and that's the beauty of being on location in the state. So we're excited about it. I know we're going to be back next month as well.
Next month, that's right.
Cannacon.
Yep, end
over
of the
in
month.
OKC. So we're excited about kind of back-to-back trips out here, and Francesca's talking, so that's going to be nice. She's talking at both shows. She's going to be at Lucky Leaf a few times. I mean, she's got a
real busy
slate.
Yeah.
So I hope her voice stands up to all this talking. So but we're excited, man. I'm happy to be back out on the road again, even though we had to battle some ice to get here.
We did, but I mean that's the cool thing when we were looking into coming to the events that we're going to be at with the Infused Show and with the sales joint in the spring. The cool thing was it's very old school radio crowdsource work to me. It's you go to where the people are, and as we saw in New York City, it helped us take a step further, and I know that being in Oklahoma this month and next month is going to help us take another step further. So it's really cool to be here. Mike Patterson of the Infused Show of the sales joint has been with me here in booth 302. Mike, I'm going to see you for a drink after this one, right?
You definitely will.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Enjoy. Infused Show is here in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Cannatech. And look, do not adjust your screens. There's nothing wrong with your screens. I love that trade shows are back in the cannabis industry because you get to meet amazing people, fantastic, good people, like the Naked Farmer 420. So your cameras are not lying. The Naked Farmer 420 is here. Dave Fortenbacher, he's clothed today, special for the Infused Show.
Yes.
Dave Fortenbacher, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's so great to get you here. And Dave's exhibiting here at Cannatech as well. And Dave, let's jump right into it.
Sure.
Why are you the Naked Farmer?
Well, this goes back a while. I've had some life-altering accidents, and they had me on synthetic buds for a long time.
Yeah.
And then the cannabis became an option for me. Started growing, became an actual cannabis patient in 2009.
Okay.
Grew out of my home in tents. Hotter than heck in there.
Yeah, home grows are rough.
Oh my, and it is. And when you're first getting started, you don't know what you're doing anyway.
Yeah.
But I had it really warm in here, so I'd strip down and go in there naked. and my wife would come in and say, "How's my naked farmer doing?" so as time went on, I started losing more and more mobility. I wasn't able to get under scrogs and those sorts of things. So I needed to find a better way to grow my medicine, and I came up with a web grow. And it truly is. It changed my life from an accessibility standpoint.
Yeah.
Made me a better grower. Gave me some standards to work from, and we started talking to people about it. And
That's incredible.
It's starting to get a little traction.
I love your origin story, and I guess your wife owns the TM, the trademark to that one, right?
Probably so. Yeah, if you ask her, she does.
Well,
yeah.
look, it's so interesting because Dave's here teaching us about web grow, teaching the attendees and fellow exhibitors about it. Dave, really, web grow is born out of pain,
It was, yeah. Like I said, I traditionally when you're growing these plants, your tissue have them in a scrog and they're static. So you've got to be able to crawl underneath them and around them and those sorts of things. And it's really impossible for a guy like me that has to have hips and knees.
Yeah.
And so to give the plant the support, and then also to give it the accessibility, that's where the web grow came. And it is patented. We do have a couple of different sizes. We are unveiling a new one here at the show, which is a PVC version for the home grower. Originally, a funny story, one of my partners is actually met him in church, believe it or not, commercial grower.
Really?
And that's where it actually started on the commercial side, and had large rooms, had our 36-inch web grows in there, and he was getting 1 to 2 pounds per plant. And he was able to cut his labor back and didn't have the PM issues and some of those other things that happen with traditional polyester netting and so on. And here we are.
No, and here we are, but that's the amazing part of meeting people like yourself at shows like this. We're talking about somebody that started out born out of pain, home grow, that is now, that found its way on the commercial side. And now you have it accessible to the cultivators that we have here at the show.
And I have so many stories of people that have contacted me that have bought the product for that reason.
Yeah.
They have bad hips, knees, they can't get around, and they see it kind of as a savior for them as well. So it's been a good journey so far.
Well, look, I can't thank you enough for bringing a product like this to the market. That, look, one of the things that we always we stress, by we I mean Dave and I, members of this cannabis community, is cannabis is medicine. It saves people.
Yeah. I was on a path to not good places.
Yeah.
And I didn't need that level of treatment. And when it was offered, the cannabis side, I tried it. Now, as a kid, I was a rec user, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As you get older, I invented a few products that are on the market today, so that doesn't really follow with my career at that point.
Sure.
But it's been the cannabis for me as a medicine has replaced any of the synthetics that I was on before.
Good for you. Now, Dave's an inventor by trade. Now he just subtly mentioned those other things. I want to ask you about one invention if I can,
sure.
because the East Coasters from Delaware came to the show today, and man, we were dealing with some of the ice and the snow today.
Yeah.
I want to know about the liquid snow shovel.
Liquid snow shovel. I invented that a little over 25 years ago.
25 years?
Yeah, we manufacture in Canada in 2 places here in the United States.
Yeah.
And we actually, the majority of the U.S. product gets sold on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And that New England, New York, New Hampshire, that area for that reason. And it's made as a pre-treatment product, so you apply it before the storm, and it's going to do 2 things. It's either going to melt whatever small amounts of snow that you have there, or if it gets too much and the product won't keep up, as soon as you hit it with a blade or shovel, it's back down to pure pavement or asphalt again, and no other salting is required. So that's kind of one of those things that it's taken a little while to kick off, that more on the maintenance, the DOTs, that sort of thing. But now the home people are starting to learn that, hey, and it's eco-friendly, it doesn't kill the grass and hurt your dogs and pets and all that stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we do millions of gallons of that a year.
That's incredible. We need some of that in Old Forge, New York, Frank. That's for sure.
Call me, I'll send you some.
All right, we're getting dumped on up there. Dave, how do we find WebGrow? How do we find you online?
If you go to webgrow.com, and WebGrow is spelled with 2 B's, and we just went through a rebranding, and I redid our website, so you'll be able to see a lot of videos there. I actually, when I can, I try and get into some of the other grows that are out there and do videos of the web grow and different guys and how they grow their styles. We don't necessarily recommend lights and newts and those sorts of things. It's not what we're here more to help the community, give them some options, and hopefully they find that a web grow is a good option for them.
Absolutely.
When they grow.
No, I hope they do. Look, we're big fans. We're grateful for your time, Dave. Look, thanks for being with us. Make sure you check out Naked Farmer 420 on YouTube, and please visit Dave's new WebGrow website.
Webgrow.com.
All right, my friend, we hope we see you again in the future. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yep.
Day 1 of Cannatech here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Infused Show is here, and we're here with Brad Perkinson of ABE Equipment. Brad, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I think in that spirit of happy to be here, I'm so grateful that cannabis or just trade shows are back after 2 years of not being able to meet one another.
Oh, yeah.
And have a genuine conversation of the people you hope to do business with.
Well, especially in the emerging industry, then some of these people aren't quite sure what to do, and a place like this is a one-stop shop for everything from making pills to finding new soil to water treatment. So it's a great opportunity for a new budding industry to really get out there.
It's true, and I love the just putting that metaphor, the one-stop shop. It really is, and hopefully attending stuff like this, because we work with a lot of small cultivators. Hopefully they're able to answer some of those questions way before they come to market. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, Brad, because none of us really start out in cannabis. Now, tell me about your cannabis origin story, if you will. How'd you get into this side of the business?
So, long story, relatively short. I was a financial analyst doing the whole numbers grind, and I decided that wasn't for me.
Okay.
And I transitioned into craft beer. So I was a home brewer, doing all those things, making some pretty dank IPAs.
Nice.
I ended up quitting my job, opened up a craft brewery in Dallas.
Wow.
Then yada, 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 if you will, Seinfeld it.
Oh, yeah. No. We always Seinfeld it here.
Yeah. I ended up getting approached to sell my craft brewery.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it wasn't offered rest of my life money. So had to go get a job. I really liked the company I bought my brewing equipment from, which is ABE. So I called them up and said, hey, do you guys have a position available? I'd like to help other people open their craft business, whether it's coffee, tea, brewing beer, whatever.
Yeah.
So started work as the, equipment salesman there. And as we go on and go on and go on, we get into, we start with beer, and then it's sodas, and then it's coffee, and then it's tea. And then someone's like, well, what about CBD infused coffee? Like,
there it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. I've got that. And like, what about some THC non-alcoholic beer? I mean, it goes into a can the same way that regular beer does. It's sometimes easier, actually. You're following the same processes. So we start talking to people that have a good idea, don't quite know how to go from I can make this, in my room.
Yeah.
To how do I make 10,000 of these?
Right. It's funny. I don't know. I see this. Do you see a correlation? I meet a lot of guys that used to do craft brewing, and we come from the land of Dogfish Head in our home state.
I just had the RTD Dogfish Head cocktail last night, the blueberry vodka.
Oh, very nice, very nice. My favorite is the Sequench in the home state.
Okay.
Sequench ale. And not to use a beer pun, it's so cool that your experience in that didn't sour you, that you wanted to keep doing something within the beverage industry too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right before Frank started rolling, I said to Brad, man, I remember, I don't know if it was 2019, 2018, reading these articles and hearing, the big dogs are going to start jumping into THC and CBD infused beverages, Molson Coors, big dogs like that. And then, wow, it really has taken off, hasn't it?
Well, everything in these beverage categories, I feel is kind of like a tidal wave effect, where you'll have one person that causes the earthquake, and then it just washes over the industry. You can't stop it.
Wow, well said.
Our origins, if you will, in craft canning came from the guys in Colorado. When Oscar Blues says, I'm doing cans.
Oh, that's good stuff.
You're stupid. You're stupid. Quality beer doesn't go in cans. Quality is in a bottle. And they're like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
They started putting it out. Then everyone needed cans. Cans.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be the same in wine. Once Gallo starts putting 6-packs of wine on the shelf, everyone's going to do canned wine.
Game over.
It's already out there, but it's not like really accepted yet because it hasn't been turned into a staple by a house brand recognized name. So when you're looking at doing anything else, whether it's putting CBD or even just hemp beers, you got the Hemperor IPA and stuff like that. That's something that once it's out there and people see someone else being successful at it, well, I mean, I want to do that too. So then they start doing it, and it gets bigger and bigger.
Right, yeah. Wait for the marketing team that's going to make drinking wine out of a can sexy, and there it is.
Absolutely.
We'll be right there. Is working within the cannabis industry particularly challenging for you coming over?
So, yes and no. And I'll answer this in two parts.
Please
One,
do.
I don't want to necessarily know everything about cannabis. I don't. I want to sit in my spot and help you be successful at the rest of your business. I want you to be really knowledgeable about your cannabis. I'll take care of the soda part. I'll take care of the canning or the bottling or the labeling. You deal with the specificity of what makes your business, what it makes. So, like I said, I can help you do a water. I don't want to know about the special thing that makes yours, super soluble or what part of the spectrum, you're using.
Right.
I respectfully decline to your expertise.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And that's one of the nice things that allows us to go all over the world and touch all these different industries. Sake is the same thing as THC cold brew from a canning perspective. So I get to have these conversations with all different types of people.
Wow.
And so from that perspective, it makes it easy because I'm not talking about cannabis. I'm talking about how a beverage can add what you want to it.
Gotcha.
From the other side, it is interesting to see the people that come and want to engage with us because they really want to talk about what makes their stuff special. So I get excited.
Yeah.
I get excited to see the excitement in their eyes, like, oh, man, you're really into this. You care. This is something you've dedicated yourself to.
Yeah.
And especially in these new emerging industries, there's a lot more people that are coming from ground up that are like, this is my life. I've dedicated to it. It's not like, craft beer. We've had these craft breweries around for 35 years.
Yeah.
Here's another one. This is, we don't have a developed cannabis market throughout the country.
No.
We got pockets, and they're getting bigger, but, we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. It's a very fresh market.
Yeah.
I mean, you drive down the street, you get dispensary.
They went on the AP program as
Absolutely.
soon as they could.
But, there's maybe not as diverse of a product line up here. And there's not necessarily, we'll just call them buy local products. The guys are growing that are selling in Denver. They're all right there in that workshop.
Yeah.
They're sending stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to be able to empower people that are in the states that are legal to do, local products and kind of just keep the markets. Obviously, diversification over is good. But I want to give someone a chance that isn't from Denver.
That's great.
I want to help the guy out that has the idea, and we'll help him, bring it all the way around.
I'm going to ask you about that. That's fantastic. And I mean, I think we're all in the right place because you said Oklahoma. I've never seen anybody as soon as they could. What was that? Proposition 788 went over, and then they just sprinted across that finish line, and all of a sudden we've got over 2,000 dispensaries. We've got 7,000 plus cultivators, 2,000 plus manufacturers. No cap on those licenses right now.
Right now.
But so of those people, Brad, what's your typical client look like?
So our typical client comes from two different avenues. We've got the white label co-packer who wants to set up a big facility and says, I'm just going to be the guy that takes your idea and actually physically does it. So they would buy our equipment, and then they would go source out their clients and label and do the actual production of their beverages. The other guys so that would be kind of like a horizontal expansion. Right. I'm going to take everything from depalletizing a can through six-packing it. We got the other guys who are like, hey, man, I'm growing. I got this wonderful product. I want to be able to take it up the chain and not just sell my cannabis to somebody. I want to turn it into a product.
Okay.
And go from there. So if you've got a really good extract, why not make something with it?
Right.
I give the example of my grandfather who retired and started growing grapes. He's like, I like wine. I'm going to grow grapes.
Good man.
And he's like, these grape buyers are screwing me. They're taking all the profit, selling it to these wineries. So he took his grapes and sold it to wineries. He's like, well, these wineries are screwing me when they ferment my grapes.
Right.
I'm going to start making my own wine. These distributors are screwing me, taking it to retail. I'm going to take my own wine to retail. So decided to go from grapes all the way to distribution. I mean, he was smaller.
During retirement, by the way.
During retirement. He's started at 78.
Yeah.
But it's the same type thing of, I've got this good grow.
Sure.
I got consistent product that I know what to do with. Why not turn it into something besides just selling it to someone else? So the people that want to grow into a full spectrum business, if you will. I'm trying to use a couple of those buzzwords.
Add that sound effect, like pardon the interruption. Give them points.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the two guys, the ones that want to do it for a bunch of different smaller clients, or the client that wants to do a really small version of what they want to do.
Okay. Now, look, we have a lot of subscribers to our services at the Sales Joint and people that we know couldn't be here today. Brad, those clients in waiting, if you will, how do they find you? How we can get in touch with you?
So we got a wonderful website, just as everybody. It is abequipment.com, ABE, because we are in Lincoln, Nebraska, good old Abe Lincoln.
Landon Lincoln.
Yeah, exactly. So you can definitely drop us a line there. We do everything from water treatment, which would be great for growers.
Yeah.
That is something that we also do is get that 000 water, so you can use like a dosatron to bring it exactly to where you need it every time.
Wow.
We use some pretty fun science. We use what's called vapor compression distillation. So we have a motor that spins and compresses the vapor as much as it can to reheat the water coming in. So you're not just continually heating up water to boil it. You're using physics to use pressure to heat water at a different boiling point.
Wow.
So it's a super cheap way to consistently get really, really, really pure water.
Yeah.
It's an upfront investment, but the down the line implications for your business are huge.
Well, I think that's not something I would have to say is a difficult. That's a damn difficult conversation to say to somebody, hey, look, you need to spend this up front, and I know it's going to help you in the long run.
Well, I tell people it's kind of like buying an old shitty Civic, which you're going to have to put new parts into, new tires, new suspension, new engine. Sometimes you just buy a Corvette and go fast and start winning the races from the beginning. Don't start down in D League.
Yeah.
Like jump up to C League or B League and just start going with a good quality business plan that you're not going to have to piecemeal together.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Sure.
But for those that have a little bit of a grander picture, making sure you dial stuff in with repeatable processes are really important. And we're seeing the people that have the most success and the quickest ROI for their business plans usually start up just a little bit more on the consistency side. Consistency is everything.
Absolutely is everything. It's what people associate with their brand at the end of the day. My Lord, we've got so much industry wisdom today, Brad, and we're going to visit you at abeequipment.com.
abeequipment.com, that's us.
Look, my guest today has been Brad Perkinson of ABE Equipment. Brad, it's been a pleasure talking with you, man. I hope we get to do it again sometime.
Cheers, brother.
All right, man. See ya. Continuing day one at Cannatech here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where it's actually gone up to a balmy 14 degrees here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I'm absolutely thrilled because I've seen this gentleman walk the floor, and I can say I'm talking to the most popular guy at Cannatech day one. I am joined by Derek Stucki. Derek is the VP of Business Development, all-around good guy, raconteur, storyteller, inventor extraordinaire, in my opinion. Derek, thanks for joining us today.
So glad to be here. Thanks for spending some time with me.
Dude, no, I know you've given your time to a lot of different people that could use your help today. But as far as people bringing a product into the cannabis space that blows my mind, it doesn't happen often. Sometimes I see some cool stuff. Derek, Cannabusters, Cannabreezy. When we just did the little, the experiment, it's incredible. Tell us about how you came up with this product.
Well, I would love to take responsibility for that, but honestly, it's God's.
Yeah.
I mean, that product has been in the natural cycle since the beginning of the earth, cleaning the air.
Yeah.
The natural cycle, and I don't want to steal too much thunder here, but after a rain event, you go, wow, it smells so clean. Well, part of that is because of what we have bottled in both Cannabreezy and Cannabusters.
Wow. I remember learning that term, petrichor, that smell after it gets so, it's just such a wonderful, lovely thing. And I was saying before, I was like, man, if I had Derek in my science class instead of my stuffy whatever, I'd been locked on every word. In the cannabis industry, one thing that we find is that it's no one's first rodeo. We didn't start out in cannabis because, unfortunately, that wasn't an avenue for a lot of us. So how did you get into this particular space?
A really good question, and thanks for asking. I got into odor control.
Okay.
When this company approached me, I was casting about between situations, and they said, come in for an interview. I said, okay. I rode 35 miles through Southern California traffic on my motorcycle, and I thought, I don't want to ride this
every day.
And then I showed up at the building, and I was not impressed. It was kind of rinky-dink looking. And then I met the people, and I thought, well, they're okay. And then they showed me the product.
Yeah.
And I just saw dollar signs, brother.
Sure you did. Sure you did. If I had a bottle of this on the way home from the Grateful Dead and Company concert, no questions asked. My parents would have been like, hey, go to bed. I wish I had it back then, my friend. Time travel possible. I'd go right back and get some Cannabusters.
Not an uncommon thing. Everybody says, where were you when I was in college?
This product is amazing. Derek's being very, very humble. Yeah, I know we give it to nature. We get cannabis from nature. We get the greatest medicine on earth from nature. Now we've got this amazing product. Derek was walking around, and he was here while I was doing another interview, and I look at the bottle. I said, my God. I said, anybody take a taste of it? And Francesca said, yeah, you can. You can taste it. You've tasted it yourself.
I think it's a good time to do the demo.
Let's do the demo. I want to do it.
Okay, so the demo is pretty simple. What we're going to do is transfer the smell of cannabis to your fingers. I had to make sure that we were primed.
Yes.
And then we're going to demonstrate how this product eliminates cannabis fragrance. So
let's do it.
Pinch, get some smell on your finger.
This is the good stuff, guys.
Imported from Humboldt County, baby.
Oh, the best Emerald Triangle stuff right here. Woo.
And that's a funny story in itself. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to spray some Cannabusters. The trick that I want to point out here is that we want to touch the odor molecule. So open your fingers up. I'm going to spray the skin that you touched the flower with. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you to rub it a little bit.
All right, I'm rubbing it a little bit.
And then smell it again, since you already know what it smelled like in your finger a minute ago.
I miss Humboldt's finest. I miss Humboldt's finest.
And there is no fragrance, so there's simply an odorless smell. And the part where you ask about, here we go.
Here we are. Derek spraying it into his mouth.
So that will probably come back and visit me later. So let's talk about what just happened.
Please do.
And understand what we did and know that I'm not crazy.
Not at
all. Spraying
this
stuff in my mouth.
Not at all.
I will tell you sort of as the end of the story and a prologue that I have the healthiest thyroid of anybody that you will ever meet.
Okay.
Because the active ingredient, iodine, is added to our table salt because of thyroid health. So iodized table salt means this product is you're already eating it.
Yep, we already got it.
And I have a healthy thyroid. So, but obviously throwing salt at an odor source doesn't change a thing.
Not at all.
So what is the difference between this iodine and what's added to table salt? Simply this, it's activated. So in the natural cycle, we'll go back to that again, that rain event that makes the air smell so fresh and clean. What was the word you used?
Petrichor.
Petrichor. I like that. I'll incorporate that. It's there because plant life in the ocean is off-gassing iodine on a regular basis that then evaporates with water into clouds. In the clouds, ultraviolet rays provide the energy source to activate it to iodine 2, right? Now it is reactive with everything that's organic. And so when those raindrops are falling through the sky, every organic molecule that touches the iodine 2 molecule completely eliminated. And then that iodine goes into the soil, becomes part of the plants and the animals that eat them, that we eat both. It's part of our natural food cycle. It's the best thing that ever.
No, I mean, and talking about best thing ever, I know, like, this works. It's remarkable how well this works, and that smell is completely dissipated. It's not dissipated; it's gone. It's just phenomenal. When we were off camera, and we were just having a lovely conversation, then as now, we could do this all day. Derek shared with me something that, as a dog owner, I can really, really relate to this. And I think the man's way too humble. It's a third-party story. So Derek wanted me to, I asked if I could share this. Number one, it's good content. Frank and I both wanted to do this.
So before you start, I'm going to give a shout-out to my good friend Cindy Northcutt.
Cindy.
Registered nurse and lawyer in Missouri. Very involved in the industry and a huge fan of Cannabusters since we first met. So proceed.
Oh, good.
This is her story.
Hey, Cindy, thank you for letting us use her story here. Now, if you can imagine the nightmarish scenario here, She writes to our man Derek, "Hi, another win for Cannabusters. Neighbor's dog got seriously skunked last night, then came in and rolled on the living room rug. They tried the skunk shampoo from the vet, no luck. I gave her my spray bottle of 10-to-1 Cannabusters, and the dog got to sleep inside. Rug saved." And then we have a nice little smiley emoji because, let me tell you, that's a good feeling, as Smokey Robinson would say. Neighbor was a little hesitant to use a product that's associated with cannabis, but she got over it quickly when it worked. LOL. So you're her hero. The dog loves you too, Derek, because they got to spend the night in there. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. A skunk, and then the dog rolling around on the damn carpet. Thank you for saving a dog as a rescue lover myself. But when we were off camera, we were talking about that. A lot of people think they have. I can tell you what the biggest problem with the cannabis industry is. I'll tell you what it is. It's this regulation. It's odor, right?
When it comes to the public-facing side of the industry, 100%.
Wow.
Odor is the biggest stumbling block to the industry, and the industry is just now starting to wake up to it.
Sure.
So how do we deal with odor in a commercial grow? We're going to mimic at some level what happens with rain in the natural cycle. Mm-hmm. We're going to fog Cannabusters into exit airstreams. So that we have contact between the iodine-2 molecule and the terpene molecules, which are the source of odor that is associated with cannabis. So how well does that work? We just conducted gas chromatography testing. We analyzed 14 different terpenes at a greenhouse in Michigan. Hello, High Life Farms, love you guys. Sampled the air, these 14 terpenes, analyzed them within the grow. Okay. And then we took the same device, moved it outside of the airstream of the fan where we were treating the air, and measured the same 14 again. Ladies and gentlemen, 98.5% reduction, elimination by oxidation of those terpenes. That means your grow is not going to cause your neighbor to complain. And if they complain, all you have to do is say, well, here's the proof right here that we are eliminating the terpenes. So what you're smelling is not us.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win, and it's such a needed aspect in this business because we hear it all the time, and we operate in different states. We worked with a grower in Washington State, and one of the biggest challenges was a new one that we learned. We were at a show, Frank and I were at a show in Illinois, guys telling us that they have teams coming around now, state regulatory teams, outside of the farms, seeing if they can smell the grow operation from a certain amount of distance from the road. And then these poor small cultivators are subject to another fine just for making their living. So products like yours are very needed. And I heard you're getting consulting calls now from places that have newly opted in to cannabis going legal, like the state of New Jersey, I believe, right?
New Jersey. We are working across the country. I had a great win for Cannabusters. And I'll back up a minute as well. I started in the odor control industry in the world of waste. So think landfills and sewer and all that sort of nasty stuff. Launched it into cannabis, and we are absolutely doing so well because we deploy by fogging the product into exit airstreams.
Okay.
So a company called Fogco, and I got to tip my hat to those guys. They were working with a previous odor vendor that was a fragrance-based masking product, whose name I won't mention because there's a lot of them out there. Mm-hmm. But Fogco, 35 years in fogging, 10 years in cannabis. They said to their previous odor vendor, sayonara, we want Cannabusters in here. So these guys, 10 years in the cannabis industry and odor control, over 200 installations, and we're in the process of flipping all those guys to the good stuff.
Wow.
So we're really killing it. It's very exciting.
Oh, man, I'm so happy for you. And just, I really am, because it's when you meet good people that have a good product in this kind of community, it's a win for us all.
Absolutely.
It's a win for all of us.
And that's what we have to do. I feel like my mission and my calling is to help the cannabis industry overcome the odor challenge, because it will cripple it, it will stymie it,
yeah,
and it may win. Now, on the flip side, people don't like the smell because of stigma. Stigma is because of prohibition.
Yeah.
In 10 years, maybe nobody will care.
I hope so.
But getting from where we are today until 10 years down the road, they need help.
They do. They do. And the more conversations that we have like this is part of the reason we wanted to start this show to begin with, because the importance of educating and demystifying that stigma that's unfortunately surrounded this amazing plant for decades in this 100%. Country. And you're helping do the big work through that, Derek, so you got to take a bow.
Heavy lifting on the odor side.
Damn right. Damn right. Look, I know that there are people that can, and I did want you to explain, explain to our audience, if you could, the difference between, I'm pointing to Cannabusters from Cannabreezy.
Absolutely. So Cannabusters is our commercial product. It's going to be sold where people are growing, cultivating, processing, storing commercial cannabis. The Cannabreezy, on the other hand, very same product, exact content, but it's aimed at the consumer market. Oh, so nice. It will soon be on the shelf at your local hydro store, and if it's not there yet, make sure you let them know, I want Cannabreezy, and then it will also be available eventually at 7-Elevens, 8 a.m. p.m.s, but on the way to that, dispensaries and smoke shops.
Nice.
And cannabreezy.com is a good way to get your bottle today if you want to pick up a bottle.
Cannabreezy.com, and I just want I want a T-shirt with I want Cannabreezy on it, because that thing just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Look, and so if people need to get in touch with you, Derek, how do we do it?
Best way probably is www.thecannabusters.com, our website, or my email, derek@thecannabusters.com.
Derek Stucki has been kind enough to be our guest on a very special edition of Infused today from Tulsa at Cannatech. Derek, it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you, so I need to thank you for your time. I wish you the very best, and I really hope our paths cross again in the future.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time and this opportunity. We need to get the word out. We need to help people with odor. There's a lot of approaches to odor. None of them do what we do. None of them eliminate the odor. And that's my mission. Let me help the industry. Thanks for your help.
It's a brilliant mission and one that's important to our industry. We'll see you next time, all right?
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.